Well, it looks like AEW screwed up again tonight. As always, they screwed up again tonight. Name my topic tonight. I'm the Godfather Soldiers who's swimming. And name my topic tonight is called Bedlam, Brutal, and Backwards in Boston. Night 1 of Spring Breakout 2025. AEW trying to keep their heads up off the water, but heading to Double or Nothing, can they? So much I would say tonight. And I'm also going to give all you my NXT Stand and Deliver predictions tonight after I get done. But before I open up the show, I'm going to show a little bit of music. I'll open up the show this hit number 1 hit R&B single that topped the charts on the R&B hip hop R&B charts called "This Is My Night" by Shaka Khan, the legendary Shaka Khan. So stick around. I'll be right back. Let me get music set up, and I'll be right back. Yep, This Is My Night by Shaka Khan. No More Hit Single from 1985. And that was the slogan for that was HBO's. HBO did the slogan for that song. The version of that song for that was the HBO slogan. This is my for when a movie is about for their primetime lineup, when movies when what's coming on tonight on HBO from back in 1985. That's what HBO did way back. I wasn't born yet. So let's get back. So let's get down with tonight's show. Terrible it was. Like I said, the name of my topic tonight is called Bedlam, Brutal and Backwards in Boston, Night 1 of Spring Breakout 2025. AEW trying to keep their heads off the water, but heading to up or nothing can they? That's my topic tonight. Okay, it's Wednesday. All we know it's Wednesday, and for the 289th week in a row, all of you know what that means. Commandeer runs down the lineup for tonight with word that Hook was attacked by the Death Riders earlier tonight. Though the rest of the ops will be ready to challenge for the trios for trios titles, trios all the same. With that, we head to the ringside for our opening match. First out is the arrogant Mercedes Moné. Some of you know is Sasha Banks from WWE. She was the boss. Now she's the CEO. As we get ready for this Owen Hart Cup semifinal match, before it comes to the ring to a big pop from the crowd as this match gets underway. Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament semifinal. Mercedes Moné versus Athena. The crowd shows their appreciation for this match before the two women finally lock up, eventually sending each other through the ropes and to the outside. They break a hold before going nose to nose and to run each other down verbally as the match makes its way to the ring. Athena, the AEW Women's TBS champion, Athena takes the AEW TBS Women's champion down, but it only gets a 2 count with Moné catching the Ring of Honor's Women's champion with a backslide for a near fall of her own. This leads to a standoff before they lock up again, with Athena sent to the ropes only to take Moné down for a head scissors for a 2 count. They trade holds with Athena countering out of a gory special to get a near fall for sending Mercedes to the floor to the corner running for a running strike that allows her to cover for a 2. Athena brings Moné to her feet before sending her to the ropes, and Mercedes catches the Ring of Honor Women's Champion with the head scissors into the statement maker. Athena tries to fight out of the hole, bring herself to the outside, but the AEW TBS Women's Champion still has to hold locked in. The referee reminds Moné that she cannot win the match on the outside, and Mercedes finally breaks the hold before bringing Athena to the apron for a double knee to the chest, leaving her hanging her off the apron as she looks for another. But Athena evades, breaking free to land a stunner on Mercedes onto the floor as we go to an ad break on Max. Back from the break, both women are in the ring and they're slowly getting their feet as they trade strikes. Athena lands on a series of right hands, but is laid out by Moné, only to counter into a tombstone power driver. No! Mercedes manages to break free of the hold before finally turning around on the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion with a lung blower. Covered by Mercedes, but it's only good for a 2 count. as Mercedes manages to kick out. She brings Athena to the corner for a swinging DDT, followed by a second one from the ropes for the cover, and on the near fall, Mercedes hits the Three Amigos on the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion to an Eddie chant, but Athena breaks out for a powerbomb. She goes for another, but Monet counters into a hit backstabber on Athena instead. They get to their feet as the AEW Women's TBS Champion lands on a series of clubbing blows on Athena to a pop from the crowd. Before her to a nut to the corner. Dueling chants up from the AEW crowd from both women as Monet runs with a double knee on Athena, sending the Ring of Honor Women's Champion to the floor outside. The action finds itself on the apron as Mercedes looks for a German suplex, but Athena hangs onto the ropes to avoid disaster. Eventually, Monet transitions to a powerbomb attempt, but Athena breaks free of her grip to stomp away at Mercedes. They remain on the apron as Mercedes gets back to her feet, only for Athena to land a pump kick on Monet that gives her an opening to land on a power slam on the hardest part of the ring. She brings the AEW Women's TBS Champion back into the ring for a near fall for a locking and a statement maker on Monet, who rolls through the lock in one of her own on Athena, who gets Mercedes on her shoulders for a near fall to break the hold. Mercedes in the corner now as Athena starts to fight back, landing a nasty shot on Monet, who rolls out of the ring to evade a pin attempt. Athena follows her to the outside before charging at the TBS champion. It takes a side step before forcing Athena's momentum to work against her. As she goes crashing to the barricade, Mercedes continues to fight as the ref begins to count, with both women trading strikes until Monet evades a crossbody from Athena, who uses a shotgun dropkick instead, sending the AEW TBS Women's Champion crashing into the barricade. She brings Monet back into the ring, looking for an O-face, but Mercedes escapes, connecting with a jackknife cover to get the win. Winning by pinfall, advancing to the finals, Mercedes Monet. Damn. This is bullshit. Wow, Mercedes celebrates on the outside, but is cut off as we hear Toni Storm's music. The AEW Women's World Champion is in the crowd applauding Mercedes from the balcony on her big win tonight. Crap. Complete crap. Backstage, Hangman and Page is about to address the face in the wild card tonight when he is interrupted by the Young Bucks and Kazuchika Okada. Matthew and Nicholas tell Adam that he's welcome for them to keep him swerve from winning the AEW World Title Dynasty for promising they'll patch things up with the Death Riders. But the Bucks walk off before Okada asks him why he's so angry and to smile. He also makes a remark at Page before the Hangman confronts him, with the Continental Champion trying to save before the Page save the face before Page walks up before once more. Back at ringside, Tuska Rusk and the Boston Bruins is shown some love before we go to an ad break. Back at ringside, Hangman Adam Page makes his way to the ring for our next match. Making his entrance next is the wild card, and it's Josh Alexander, the former TNA World Champion. Makes his way to the ring, and a big pop from the Boston crowd as this Owen Hart Cup match is underway. Here we go, the Owen Hart Foundation's Men's Tournament quarterfinal Hangman Page versus Josh Alexander. The dueling chance for both men as they lock up with Alexander taking the Hangman to the mat. Page gets back to his feet but is cut off from a shoulder tackle off the ropes. The two-man trade strikes back and forth, with Alexander being sent to the corner. Page manages to fight back, sending Josh to the corner before the action finds its way back into the middle of the ring, where both men continue to duke it out toward the apron, before Page sends Alexander to the floor with a lariat. Page heads to the outside for the chase, only for Alexander to send him toward the barricade. Page manages to fight back using the steps to get onto the ramp, while Josh is hung up on the barricade, and the Hangman runs toward him, flying off the ramp to lay Alexander out with a clothesline, sending him to the floor. Hangman stares him down from the floor as we go to an ad break on Max. Back from the break, Alexander has taken control of the match as both men are back in the ring, taking Page down with a German suplex for a near fall. Both men get to their feet as Alexander hits Page with a lariat that phases the Hangman, who breaks free of the German suplex attempt and responds with a rolling lariat of his own, sending the walking weapon down hard to the canvas. The action spills to the apron as Hangman looks for a dead eye, but sells for a back body drop instead, forcing Alexander to crash into the hardest part of the ring. Josh drops to the floor, trying to get to his feet, as does just someone time to be sent back down with a moonsault by Page. He brings Alexander back for a Liger bomb, but it's only good for a 2 count before the walking weapon manages to kick out. The two exchange holds until Alexander gets a clutch for a near fall drop before dropping the Hangman down hard for another close at 2 count. Josh goes for an ankle lock, but Page makes it to the ropes to force a break before being finally let go. Page takes the walking weapon down with an enziguri before setting up for a tombstone power drive, but Alexander kicks out just in the nick of time. Page heads to the ropes looking for a buckshot lariat, but Alexander gets to the ropes to evade. This draws the Hangman over to the ropes, where Josh manages to keep him on the apron to the apron for advantage as he heads back to the ring. He evades another enziguri for an ankle lock, but Hangman counters into a small package for the win. A winner by pinfall and advancing into the semifinals, Hangman and Page. Alexander leaves the ring to allow Page a moment to celebrate, but Kyle Fletcher and Don Callis arrive to make sure that doesn't happen. Page intercepts Fletcher on the ramp, laying him before sending the Pro Star into the ring. As goes after Fletcher, we see Callis speaking with Alexander on the walking weapon and blindsides Page inside the ring, allowing Fletcher to make his escape from the ring. Callis thanks Josh for his assistance before Alexander leaves the ring up the ramp, while Fletcher drops with a brain buster. Fletcher and Callis stand tall with the fallen Hangman as we go to a commercial break. Backstage, Nick Wayne talks about the hierarchy of the patriarchy until he is cut off by the trainer Christian Cage. Wayne finally addresses why he thinks Cage failed to execute the plan, saying he couldn't bear to think about Colt becoming world champion before he did. But Cage talks about what happens when you assume. He gives Nick some kudos for the fire he's been showing, saying he's got him a new Japan's Best of the Super Juniors tournament before letting him know he's facing one of those competitors on Collision tomorrow. When he faces Commander for the Ring of Honor Television Championship. He looks forward to Wayne bringing the title home to Patriarch, but lands a slap on Nick before walking off. Via package, FTR addresses why he turned down Colt before laying into Daniel Garcia. Back at ringside, we find FTR has been suspended for a week before we get ready for our next match. Out first are the Gates of Agony, ready to challenge for the AEW World Tag Team Championship as the Hurt Syndicate come out next to get this match underway. See, okay, yeah, FTR, FTR just as why they turned out Colt before laying into Dan Garcia. Back at ringside, we find out that FTR has been suspended for a week before we get to ready for our next match. Out first are the Gates of Agony, ready to challenge for the AEW World Tag Team Championship as the Hurt Syndicate come out next to get this match underway. AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Hurt Syndicate, Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley defends against the Gates of Agony, Bishop Khan and Toa Liona. We start off with Toa Liona charging at Shelton Benjamin, keeping on the attack before double teaming him for a near fall as Khan goes for it after Lashley. Another double team from the Gates after a tag to Khan until the ref intervenes. A tag made to Lashley who lays into Bishop before the latter lands a chop on another to take on another Reaver. This doesn't last long as Khan gets to his feet, only to be sent out by the ring by Lashley as we go to an ad break on Max. Full break on Max. Back from break, Benjamin has returned to ring to go after Khan, leading to a double team forcing both men out to the mat. Leon gets a tag to go after Benjamin, hitting a running senton for a near fall before Lashley breaks the pin. Bobby makes the tag but is sent to the corner for some right hands by Leona until Lashley gets the hurt lock on clinched in. It takes Bishop Khan running in to break the hold, and chaos ensues until Shelton gets the tag while Lashley and Leona head to the ring. Benjamin lands on a couple of big German suplexes on Khan before Tola gets involved, only to be sent to the outside where Lashley meets him with a big spear. Benjamin hits a running knee strike on Khan back in the ring before tagging in Lashley, who lands on a spear on Bishop for the pin and to win to retain. Wins by pinfall and still the AEW World Tag Team Champions Hurt Syndicate. This celebration post-match is cut off by Moron Jackass Friedman's music as he heads to the ring, who accepts the crowd's chants of his name before saying, "We give it up for the Hurt Syndicate." The crowd chants, "We hurt people," before Moron Jackass Friedman cuts them off, talking up to the Syndicate, only to make a remark that upsets Lashley. Friedman talks about having some talent in the back before MVP tells him to put the cards on the table as he was already pissed off the Almighty. MJF calls out the talent to come out, and a group of ladies make their way down to the ring to show a level of affection for the syndicate. MJF says they can have a night with these ladies, but all he needs in return is 3 thumbs up. MVP talks to his boys, with Shelton considerably distracted as he says he needs more time to think about it, or rather he needs a little more time, revealing that he wants to watch off MJF's wrist. Freeman offers to watch in exchange for a thumbs up, and Shelton thinks about it. He even starts to give a thumbs up before Lashley stares him down, and this leads to a standard of excellence giving a thumbs up down. MJF starts to get mad about this. And Warren Jackass Freeman starts to get pissed about this. But he claims he respects the power of democracy and the people, and maybe not these people, but you know what he means as a gesture of gratitude when he gives Shelton his watch. He even gives Benjamin the lays for the night, but for Bob he offers a word about how he is known in getting what he wants. He gives Benjamin and the ladies the night off, but for Bob he offers the word, and now about how he knows getting what he wants. But he is more on Jackass Freeman, and he is better than you know, and you know it. His music hits as he walks off, and the Hurt Syndicate help the ladies out of the ring. Video package: Will Ospreay and Kanazuki Takeshita get ready for another AEW. This time with a spot in the finals in AEW in the Owen Hart Tournament Cup on the line tonight. Backstage revolved on the previous segment by the Hurt Syndicate to discuss how they can use more on Jackass Freeman to their advantage. The moment he gets out of line, they can deal with him. But that seemingly sorted that they head out to the building with the ladies beside them. Back at ringside, Will Ospreay makes his way to the ring for our next match as commentary runs down the big international announcements made earlier today, with AEW heading to the OVO Hydro in Glasgow, Scotland for Dynamite, and Collision and the O2 in London for Forbidden Door, as well as Grand Slam Mexico from Arena Mexico. With the aerial assassin in the ring, Konosuke Takeshita makes his way out next to get this match underway. Owen Hart Foundation's Men's Tournament Semifinal: Konosuke Takeshita versus Will Ospreay. Ospreay chance kicks off as a 2-man lockup, with Will getting the upper hand until Takeshita counters for a near fall. They fight back to their feet as the crowd lets Don Callis know what they think about him, while Ospreay takes Takeshita to the ropes for a chop. He sends Konosuke to the corner, but Alpha forces with the ref to intervene before taking control, sending Ospreay down to the mat. He sends Will to the ropes, but Ospreay counters with an arm drag for an armbar attempt before Konosuke breaks free. The action heads to the ropes once more as Ospreay takes the Alpha to mat with a crossbody, but Takashi fights back to hit the ropes for a running lariat on the aerial assassin. Ospreay starts to fight back, but is sent to the mat by Takashi and forced to take to the outside, but where the Alpha catches him with a big dive, sending him to the barricade. Both men are down as we go to an ad break on Max. Full break on Max. Back from break, Kanzuki Takashi full break. Back from the break. Yeah, full break ahead on Max. Back from break, Kanzuki has brought Ospreay back into the ring as he continues to lay into the aerial assassin until he counters with a big power slam Takashi to the canavas. Ospreay continues the attack, covering Kanzuki for a near fall. Both men are on their feet, but it's Alpha who takes control with a big boot on Ospreay. Explorer's attempt is blocked by Ospreay, who lands an enziguri on Alpha instead, but Takashi catches him with an exploder to try to close for a near fall. He heads to the corner where he gets intercepted by Ospreay only to counter as he looks for an avalanche on Raging Fire, but Ospreay nails him with Stun Dog Millionaire, forcing him to the ramp. Kanzuki gets to his feet as Will Ospreay hits the ropes, driving him to the ramp with an Oscutter. The ref reaches a count of 9 before Takashi makes it to the back in the ring, but Ospreay catches him with a Sky Twister press for the cover. But Takashi kicks out. Ospreay goes for an Oscutter, but this also yields for a near fall as the Alpha kicks out once more. Ospreay looks for a Stormbreaker, but Takashi breaks free, rolling him for a near fall with a trade pin attempts. Leads to a big rolling German suplex by the Alpha as he got Ospreay pinned down, but it only gets a near for a 2 count. Both men fight to defeat, trading strikes before fourth until Takashi sends Ospreay to the corner for a series of strikes before the ref intervenes. Ospreay starts to fight back, but is laid out with a forearm strike by the Alpha, who brings Ospreay back to his feet for Raging Fire, but Ospreay counters out, landing a thrust kick, sending Takashi to the mat. He sets up for a hidden blade, but Takashi drops to the mat before rising to a forearm on Ospreay, followed by a blue thunderbomb for the near fall. Ospreay tries to fight back once more, but is dropped hard by a knee from Takashi, only for Will to kick out at 1 for a hidden blade, but only this time gets him for a near fall. Gets him for 1 count as well. Takashi looks to set Ospreay, but the latter turns to drop Alpha down hard before landing a wheelbarrow suplex for Takashi to land on a hidden blade of his own on the aerial assassin, both men dropping to the mat. Both men slowly to get to their feet, stop the standing 10 count with the action, making its way to the corner where Ospreay lands for some forearm strikes on Takashi. Ospreay slips out, but it brings his balance as he lands on a headbutt on the Alpha before locking up with a turnbuckle, who takes Ospreay off with a lariat. Will lands on his feet, hitting a hidden blade on Takashi, who kicks out. Ospreay looks for another hidden blade, but gets hit with a running knee by Takashi. Raging is escaped as Ospreay hits a style clash covered by Ospreay, but the Alpha once again kicks out. Both of them make it to their feet as Kanzuki looks for a lariat, but Ospreay evades it to hit a Stormbreaker to pick up the win in advance. Winner by pinfall and advancing to the finals, Will Ospreay. Ospreay celebrates the win to a big pop as the crowd from the crowd as we get a graphic for our main event. The Trios World Championship on the lineup next. Now as we go to commercial break. Back from the break, it's time for our main event. John Moxley enters the building where the rest of the Death Riders sans Pat meet him, and the group heads through the crowd toward the ringside to defend their World Trios Championship. They enter the ring as the crowd gives a mixed reaction between boos and cheers before the Ops of Samoa Joe and Kazuri Shibata step up on the stage to a big pop from the crowd. And then out comes Powerhouse Hobbs. It seems to be he'll be filling in for Hook after the pre-show attack as they go after the Death Riders to get this main event underway. Here we go, the AEW Trios World Championship match. The Death Riders John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta defends against the Ops, Samoa Joe and Katsuyori Shibata and Powerhouse Hobbs. You eventually start this match with Hobbs and Yuta with the Powerhouse sending the Wheeler to the corner for some hard strikes before Mox rushes in for a cheap shot. This distracts Hobbs long enough for Yuta to get the upper hand. But that doesn't last long as Hobbs takes him down on the mat with a power slam. Tag made to Samoa Joe sends Yuta to the opposite corner for some more damage as the crowd chants, "Joe's gonna kill you." Joe with a few more hard hits before tagging in Shibata, who brings him to the corner once more for taking Wheeler to the mat with a snapmare and a kick back to the back. He goes after the Death Riders on the apron before going back to Yuta, who sends him to the outside and distracts the ref as Claudio sends the wrestler into the barricade. Yuta goes after him before bringing Shibata back into the ring to tag Mox. Mox draws Joe into the ring, distracting the ref enough to sneak Claudio in with a popper tag. Claudio lays on Shibata after going after the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. People's Champ. Champion's neck for some more damage to go to a full break on Max. Full head break on Max. Back from the break, chaos continues as we get Joe and Yuta as illegal men in the ring, with Joe sending Yuta to the mat with a power slam. Claudio continues to distract the ref as Mox goes for a chair before getting into the ring, only for Wheeler to come in running to the ramp to pull a chair away. Yes, with a missile dropkick before Shibata being slammed to the mat by Joe. Both men are down in the canvas as the Young Buck make their way down to the ramp, mocking the crowd as they walk around the ring, only to be blindsided by Swerve. He goes after Bucks as the back in the ring. Yuta is sent flying out as a big slam by Hobbs to the announce table. Shafir goes after the Hobbs with a chair. But Wheel clobbers her to take her Shafir out of the equation. Back in the ring, Mox looks for a Death Rider DDT on Joe, who counters into a Coquina clutch. Mox is fading fast, but he is out cold as the ref calls for a bell to bring this match to a close. And then we have new Trios champions. Winners by pinfall, new AEW World Trios champions, the Ops, Samoa Joe and Katsuyori Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs. Mox makes a quick exit through the crowd, eventually joined by remaining Death Riders as the locker room seems to clear out to join the new champs celebrating with a big ring over the invading force as Dynamite comes to a close. Oh boy, this is completely crap. This is unbelievable, man. I mean, I just don't understand this. I mean, they really they just shit on John Moxley. I mean, this is just I mean, they got set up. I mean, this just whack. Okay. I mean, and you know, this means, this means John Moxley, no, This finally this means this means because John Moxley is just gonna quit AEW, and now this means he's gonna go back to WWE and WWE. And I hope and pray to God he does not reunite with the Shield with Roman and Seth Rollins. I mean, you kidding me? I mean, he got John Moxley got really screwed tonight, and Tony Khan, putting up the show. This is heading up to double nothing. This is I don't. How this is gonna look with this spring breakthrough break. Yeah, not spring breakout, spring breakthrough edition. I think AEW won't pull this off. Y'all know how what Tony Khan is capable of. Well, I don't know. So that's that's it. And those are my review. That's my review. So now it's time for my NXT Stand and Deliver predictions. It takes place on the same day. This Saturday is the same day as WrestleMania. First match, May the 4th, Lash Legend Jakara Jackson versus Failing Influence, Fallon Henley and JC White versus Tana Petley and G. Lee Donovan versus Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. And I understand why they're friends all of a sudden. I'm going to go with Meta 4 for this. Yeah, the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Elimination Match to determine the number one contenders for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. I'm going to go with Meta 4. Number 2, ladder match for the vacant NXT Women's North American Championship. Sahara versus Kalani Jordan versus Sal Ruka versus Easy Dom versus Lola Vice versus Thea Hall. Feel a Hell. I'm gonna go with see what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with the Sol Ruka. Next is a fair 4-way match for the NXT Women's Championship. Stephanie Vicquer versus Julia versus Jordan Grace versus Jada Parker. I'm gonna go with Jordan Grace. Number 4, Nathan Frazier and Axton versus Hank Waller and Tank Leger. Tag team match for the NXT Tag Team Championship. I'm gonna go with Nathan Frazier and Axton. Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page. I'm gonna go with Ethan Page. The D'Angelo family, Tony D'Angelo, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, and Luca Christopher with Adriana Rizzo. Adriana Rizzo versus Dark State, Deon Lennox, Cutler James, Sakana Shakurs, or Otis Griffin 6-man tag team match. I'm gonna go with Dark State. Okay, Obi Femi versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans, triple threat match for the NXT Championship. I'm gonna go with Trick Evans. It's my pick. And that's it. Now you know what it's time for. It's time for something I like to do. Hold on a second. It's time for Justin's Timeline History of all the wrestling birthdays, pop culture, and all that stuff. And all you hear that thing was a thing from Back to the Future starring Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. I can't wait for its 40th anniversary. Can't wait for its 40th anniversary. This on July 3rd, 2025 for its 40th anniversary because the movie was released July 3rd, 1985. Let's go to yesterday, April the 15th. Okay. Yesterday was a happy 47th birthday to Austin Aries. Yeah, he turned 47 yesterday. Okay, yesterday was a happy birthday to yesterday was a happy 58th birthday to Insan Inu, Hawaiian Japanese wrestler. Yesterday was a happy another birthday Russian wrestler turn. '64 yesterday. His name was Volkan. That's what his name was. And yesterday for See, birthday. See, history. Okay. 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 On WCW Pro March April 15, 95, Blue Bloods versus Barry Houston and Mike Davis. Okay. Then we see a Slam 395 Control Center with Mean Gene Okerlund. Then we see a match. Alex Wright defeating Sonny Trout. Then featured Jimmy the Master Style Jimmy Hart in the WCW mailroom in a clips of Renegade, which is a rip off of WWE's Ultimate Warrior. Big Bubba versus defeats Eddie Jackson, we know was the late Big Boss Man from WWE. God rest his soul. Then featured with Dave Sullivan receives a present from Diamond Dallas Page's wife, Diamond Dallas, who was Kimberly. And Bang defeats John Taylor. And Buckhouse Dirty Dick Slater. Um, yeah, I think either it was versus Brad Armstrong and Tim Horn. I think Brad Armstrong and Tim Horn defeated Buckhouse Buck and Dirty Dick Slater on this match on WCW Pro on that night. Then on WCW Worldwide, same day. WCW Worldwide, same day. Okay, WCW Saturday night. Oh wait, no, this is the WCW Worldwide. Trying to find. Okay, opening contest, Main Colonel Tom Barker defeats Bill Payne. Hacksaw Jim Duggan defeats Sledgehammer McGill. Frank Anderson defeats Manny Fernandez. Big Bubba Rogers, we know was the Big Boss Man, late Big Boss Man, beats Kenny Kendall. Stars and Stripes defeat Dino Casanova and Romeo Valentino when Marcus Bagwell pins Valentino. Then Kevin Sullivan and the Butcher deliver a promo in a split screen in the Stars and Stripes entrance because they will be facing them on WCW Worldwide next week. Patriot continues his usual shit of not paying any attention to the referee until after he blast. Both jobbers were flying shoulder block despite not being the legal man. after that, the Jabbers are the Tacoma Blade that they cannot mount any offense and Stars and Stripes rack up their 15 win of the year after their 7 match winning streak will be in jeopardy on WCW Saturday when they wrestle Vader and Arn Anderson. Then we see Mean Gene Oakland interviews WCW Tag Team Champions Harlem Heat. So we know it's Booker T and Stevie Ray and Sensational Sherry. God rest her soul. Stevie Ray pulls over how the Heat are the best tag team in the world. This feud is and I know that this feud is nationally exhausted. As both teams have very little. It's very kind of boring. As both teams has very little to add their promos about why they still hate each other. Then in WCW TV Championship match, Arn Anderson wrestles Alex Wright to a time limit draw, and that's it. Now we go to let's go to that same day WWF Superstars. The Allied Powers, Lex Luger and the British Bulldog David Boy Smith defeated Burt Santino, Tony DeVito. We know it's called the Allied Powers because Lex Luger is American, and British Bulldog is an Englishman. Not bad tag team. Bob Holly defeated Black Phantom. The Smoking Guns, Bart Gunn and Billy Gunn defeated Hakushi and Quang with Harvey Whipping and Shinja. Adam Bomb defeated Mike Bell, and Henry O. Godwin defeated Nick Barbarian. There's a little promotion for the next pay-per-view for first ever WWE WWF In Your House. I love that pay-per-view when I was little. Let's see. Now we go to WCW Saturday night. Same day, April 15th. Alex Wright defeated Bobby Starr. Sergeant Craig Pittman defeated John Taylor. Meng with Colonel Tom Parker defeated Barry Hardy. The Blue Bloods, Earl Robert Eaton and Lord Steven Regal defeated Eddie Jackie and Scott Armstrong. Paul Orndorff defeated Mr. Wonderful. Paul Orndorff defeated Barry Houston. Flying Brian Pillman defeated Rick Thames. Big Bubba Rogers, some of you know as late Big Boss Man, defeated Larry Santo. Arn Anderson and Vader defeated Stars and Stripes, Marcus Alexander Bergo and the Patriot. And God rest his soul, Patriot and Vader. Then on same day, a little wrestling event, ECW Hostile Showdown 95 took place at the ECW Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And Mikey Rip with Hike Myers defeated Stevie Richards with Raven. Tajubi Genshin defeated Tony Stetson. Axel Rotten defeated Axel Rotten and Barbed Wire Bat Ranch, two former tag team partners. Raven with Steven Richards and Bela McGillicuddy defeated Tommy Dreamer or Tommy Dreamer by DQ. Eddie Guerrero versus Dean Malenko ending the time limit draw. ECW World TV Championship. The same man defeated Shane Douglas with Woman, so we know it was Nancy Benoit, Chris Benoit's wife that Chris Benoit murdered, along with his son. The ECW World Heavyweight Championship. Public Enemy, Johnny Grunge and Rocker Rubber defeated the Pitbulls, Pitbull 1 and Pitbull 2 with Steve Richards. Tag team match for the ECW World Tag Team Championship. 9/11 when Paul E. Dangerously defeated Ron Simmons. And then Cactus Jackson, we know is Mick Foley defeated Terry Funk. Now the ECW World TV Championship, ECW World TV Championship wasn't a bad match. There was it was a bad match, and rest in peace to Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko are really good friends. Really good friends. That was a really good, not bad match. Now let's go to another day on Impact Wrestling 2005. And this was heading up to TNA Lockdown. Michael Shane, Kid Cash, and Lance Hoyt defeated uh, uh, Chris Sabin, and Paul, and Sonny Siaki. Then then with Tenay and West recap the fact that Dusty Rhodes announced last week that every match at Lockdown will be in contest in the cage. Jeff Jarrett's lawyer interrupts them. He's there with Chris Candido, who's in a wheelchair with a neck brace bandage over his left eye. Laura talks about how Candido was attacked by Kevin Nash last week, and now Candido can't do anything. The lawyer asks if Nash is seen anywhere in the Impact Zone tonight. Security will see that Nash will be moved from the arena and arrested. Backstage, Michael Shane's with Trinity. He asks Shane about Dana's being an X-Division champion. In fact, he's beaten numerous of times. She thinks Shane can be X-champ. It took him looked much around his waist. Tracy Norton says she's supposed to be handing out Dusty Rhodes a book that comes out today. She tells them not to argue. Shane says he thinks it makes sense to him to pound her to get her back. Three Live Crew defeated Petey Williams and Al A1 Rouse with Scott D'Amore. And then Christopher Daniels defeated Mikey Batts. And backstage, Three Live Crew are talking again. Conan confronts James about the Outlaw again. James says Outlaw is nothing to him, and says he's right that Outlaw is up to no good. James says the Crew is his family. Conan defeats Eric Young with Scott D'Amore. Then we'll see a backstage segment. Shane Douglas interviews AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy. Styles basically talks about their match with the Abyss, saying he deserves fear well. He's not going to miss an opportunity and a chance to become world champion again. Hardy says he's going to take Raven out with a lockdown. Douglas announces the main event for next week will be AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy versus Raven, Abyss, and Raven. Raven comes in and nails Hardy from behind with a trash can, and Styles checks in as Hardy as Raven walks away. NWA World Champion comes out to join Weston tonight. Kevin Nash comes out and tries to get Jarrett, but security restrains him and eventually leaves. The Outlaw and Monty Brown defeat the Outlaw, so there's no as Billy Gunn, and Monty Brown defeat Diamond Dallas Page and Sean Waltman. Some of you know as X-Pac and 1-2-3 Kid, WWE. And X-Pac and Billy Gunn are friends and they go way back to WWE's DX. After the match, DDP and Jarrett fight around at ringside. DDP is on the assault with the offense. They fight backstage into the parking garage. Gunn comes up from behind, and Jarrett and Gunn gain the advantage. Security is shown trying to restrain Kevin Nash in the back. He breaks away from them to come out as the show ends. Okay, now pop culture. See here. Okay, a movie was released in theaters nationwide called the Amityville Horror Remake of the 1971 classic, and stars Ryan Reynolds. Some of you know is from the movie. Stars Ryan Reynolds. Some of you know from National Lampoon's Van Wilder and Deadpool. Australian actress Melissa George. And Chloe and the late Philip Baker Hall, and Chloe Grace Moretz in their feature film debut. In their feature film debut. It just makes her a big star, a very big star. Okay, on NXT 2015 on NXT, April the 15th, Solomon Crow defeated C.J. Parker. Baron Corbin defeated Steve Cutler. Real Skies, Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. SAWFT Soft. How you doing? But Carmella defeated Shoot Nation, Angel Dawkins and Sawyer Fulton. And Dana Brooke defeated Blue Plants. Sami Zayn defeated Rhino. Okay, now let's go to today's April the 16th. Okay, today's a happy birth 30 happy 36th birthday to Mia Yim. Mia Yim, formerly Jade from Impact Wrestling and Reckoning. When they formed that stable called what's that name of the stable? Absolution. Retribution is stable Retribution, which and George the Animal Steel, he would have been he would have been he would have been 88 today. And he died on February 16, 2017. He was a really good wrestler, WWE Hall of Famer. And excuse me, some of you know is Vicky Guerrero, the husband of the wife of the late Eddie Guerrero. She turns 57 today. And Paul London, he turns 45 today. Paul London, 45 today, Paul London. And Trey Lamar from AEW, he turns 28 today. Now let's go to some today's wrestling history for today. Okay. Let's see. 1985 Primetime Wrestling. Okay. Wait, there was no primetime wrestling on this day. Okay. On this day, 1985, Tio Santana and Ricky D. Dragon, El Matador, Tio Santana, and Ricky D. Dragon Steamboat defeat WWE Tag Team Champions Nikolai Volkov and Iron Sheik by DQ. And titles didn't change. This match was part of a larger WWE WWF event. The event featured matches between Tio Santana and the Execution of Buddy Rose. Ricky Dragon Steamboat, Matt Morrison, we know is doing the clown and others according to Wikipedia. Let's see. What else? See on WWF Wrestling Challenge. On WWF Wrestling Challenge, a vignette from Bob Backlund with a suit and bow tie on the beach in Florida during spring break included a segment in which a fourth grader Jasmine McNeil from Palm Spring, PS 384 in Bushwick, New York, reading essay she wrote about drug abuse with an appearance from The Undertaker. Featured vignette from the first vignette performing the debut of Hunter Hearst Helmsley, someone we know as Triple H, who's about to be in WWE Hall of Fame. Frankly, he's not really doing that good of a job as a booker, in which he made fun of the Bushwhackers, New Head Shrinkers, and Smoking Guns for having his level of class. IC champion Jeff Jarrett with the roadie defeated Scott Taylor via submission. Aldo Montoya pinned Mike Starr. Man of Mission and Charlie Hunter defeated John Sinozuski. 1-2-3 Kid pinned Barry Horowitz. Kama with Ted DiBiase pinned John Crystal. And then on the segment with a modified belly suplex after bat, DiBiase grabbed the mic and introduced the newest members of his restructured $1 million corporation, Tonka, King Kong Bundy, IRS, Bam Bam Bigelow, and their newest member of the crowning jewel of the group, Psycho Sid. Moments later, Kama and Bundy lifted Sid up on their shoulders during the segment. Bigelow was noticeably snubbed by DiBiase and the other members of the group due to the fact that he lost to Lawrence Taylor at WrestleMania 11, a couple of days ago. Duke the Dumpster Droese defeated Mike Corey. Then on the same day on WWF Action Zone, on WWF Action Zone, WWE Action Zone on the USA Network, commentators were Todd Pettengill and some of you know, and late Gorilla Monsoon. The Allied Powers, Lex Luger, made in USA, Lex Luger and the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith defeated the Heavenly Bodies, Jimmy Del Rey and Tom Pritchard, Bruce Pritchard's brother. And on WCW main event on this same day, okay, TV champion Brian Pillman defeats Arn Anderson. I think it was via DQ, but Arn Anderson still the WWE TV champion. And now 2005 on WWE Velocity. Okay, we're trying to get them things fixed. Okay, it's 11:59 right now. Chavo Guerrero defeated Shannon Moore. Sky Too High defeated Nunzio. Luther Reigns defeated Funaki. Charlie Haas and Hardcore Holiday defeated Keo and Spike Dudley. And on WWE SmackDown, Thursday night SmackDown. Okay, man, what 12 a.m. right now. Okay, yesterday, Bray Wyatt defeated R-Truth. Bad News Barry defeated The Miz. Shannon Neville defeated Sheamus by DQ. And New Day, Kofi Kingston, Big E with Xavier Woods defeated Los Matadores, Diego Fernando with El Torito. Cameron defeated Alicia Fox and Natalia in a triple threat match. Fandango defeated Adam Rose. Daniel Bryan and John Cena defeated Cesaro and Tyson Kidd with Natalia. And let's see what else. Okay, and on WCW and WWE Superstars on the same day, Zack Ryder defeated Heath Slater. R-Truth defeated Curtis Axel. And on SmackDown, Big Show explained why Roman Reigns will not be will not be the last man standing on that day. By the way, so that do it for my got that all covered. My predictions for NXT and hit wrestling history and birthdays and all that pop culture and all that stuff. So I'm the Godfather Soldiers who's swimming. It's April 17th right now. It's April 17th. And 2025, it's 12:01. I'm getting some sleep now. I'm gonna close. It's late. Chad Henshaw used to say, I like to dress up like Chubby Checker, sing like Lionel Richie, dance like James Brown. Gonna get in the hot tub. Gonna be sweat. Gonna be dry. Gonna be wet. Referring to Eddie Murphy doing an impression of James Brown on Saturday Night Live back in the 80s. I never grew up in the 80s. I grew up in the 90s. But I saw the reruns of it in Comedy Central. So my mom told me everything about the 80s pop culture. So hope all of you good morning. It's midnight. Now I'm going to close out the show with a little bit of music for all of you on this midnight. I'm going to close out the show with this song that didn't chart on the it wasn't on the United States charts in 1995. It charted in places like Australia and the UK. The name of the song is called "Straight to My Feet" by MC Hammer. MC Hammer and feature MC Hammer featuring NFL legend Deion Sanders. The song didn't chart. It wasn't on the U.S. charts, and it had a negative reception from the critics, and it was on a chart, and it was on the Australia charts, in the UK charts, and the UK hip hop R&B charts. Can't believe it didn't chart in the United States. When it was released, in the music video, the song also had a music video. It was like and John Claude Van was in the music videos from the Street Fighter soundtrack. The song "Straight to My Feet." Yeah, number one hit in UK and Australia. I can't believe it wasn't on U.S. charts in '95. So I hope all of you good night, good morning since midnight. And give me some sleep. The Godfather Soldiers was slumming, and here it is to close out the music. With the song "Straight to My Feet" from the Street Fighter soundtrack by MC Hammer and NFL quarterback, NFL player Deion Sanders. So hope all of you good night. I'm out of here. Peace. Let me find this. Good night, everybody. Have a good morning, everybody. I'm out of here. Peace.